Yeah, are the elections going ahead? Well, the Constitutional Court suspended the invalidities on the voters' roll yesterday, this allowing the August local elections to go ahead. The ruling found that the Independent Electoral Commission acted outside the law when it failed to retain addresses of voters on the national voters' roll. The ConCourt has given the IEC 18 months to clear the defects, and to talk more about this, we are joined in studio by the IEC's Mosotho Moepye. Good to have you. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Leanne.
In a sense, are you a little bit relieved? I mean, you know, imagine the elections being delayed this year.
Yes, we are relieved. You will recall that after the judgment in the Electoral Court in February, there were a number of issues that concerned us, issues of clarity, and we approached the Constitutional Court primarily to seek clarity on those issues. And you know, you will know. When you run an election, when you conduct elections, one of the most prized or valued things you need to have is clarity, you know, in terms of the electoral process, in terms of the legislative framework, and in terms of, you know, the dates and things that you do. The situation we had where it wasn't clear whether a person on the voters' roll without an address was going to participate in an election or not. Was quite a problem for us.
Indeed, I imagine it's worrying for you and for the voters.
Yes, absolutely. And
so, but the Tlokwe municipality is, you have to get that sorted out. So now, what is the process going forward?
We will be in Tlokwe. We will have meetings with political stakeholders, with communities there, and we will go and get the addresses where we need to get addresses before the elections, as the Constitutional Court has directed. In that regard, we will make announcements in the next week, and I think we will then undertake that process. I think even that process creates certainty for the people in Tlokwe, and we will be communicating with them shortly.
When the ConCourt ruled that the voters' roll has been declared unlawful by the Constitutional Court, what exactly does that mean? I mean, just explain that to us.
Well, the Constitutional Court was clear. It accepted that we approached it on the basis that certain things were interpreted in a certain way by ourselves. And it said that was not a proper interpretation. The proper interpretation is different to what we have done, and in that respect found that we have not acted in terms of the law, and therefore said that voters' roll is invalid in that respect. But the court was very clear. In fact, I'd like to read what the court said in that respect. It said in paragraph 42, it said, "This is not about casting aspersions on the IEC. It is about interpretation. Indeed, I'm not aware that the integrity of the IEC as an institution has ever been held to be waning or wanting." Yeah. And I think that's really what the court says about what we were facing. And the court therefore says, you know, we accept that in good faith you misinterpreted this, and now we give you this facility, and that we are grateful for.
Yeah, yeah. But, you know, going into these elections, obviously this is going to be added pressure for you, because there could be criticisms coming from every angle now, because it has been declared that there are defects on the voters' roll, even though we've been given up until 18 months to fix that, which is what we're going to discuss next. But is this not a worry for you, that people are going to use this as a loophole? No.
Well, you know, in our work, perceptions can be a reality. But this judgment, which I'll also want to read, I think it's a paragraph here quickly for you. Paragraph 18, the court deals with that issue. It says, "This is by no means a suggestion of fraud on the part of the IEC. The admitted fraud appears to have been committed by those who sought and obtained registration." So the court is clear. We have come short in terms of our interpretation. That's all that has happened in this instance. And for that, you know, we would have to go and deal with the matter within the next 18 months for the rest of the country, and with Tlokwe before we go to elections. And I think it's important to say that The Electoral Commission will do everything in its power to address these issues. In fact, when we speak to the nation, possibly next week, about work we have done, you will really see that ever since this matter came to the attention of the Commission, there's so much work we have done in good faith. We knew that the court process was underway, but we were on our own, also seeking ways to deal with this matter expeditiously.
So you've got 18 months now. Let's just wrap this up. You've got 18 months now in order to fulfill what the ConCourt has told you, and that's to get every single eligible voter in South Africa's address. Yes. This is a mammoth task. We all know this. Will you be starting now? Will there be a process on election day, perhaps, to already start getting people's addresses as they filter into the centres?
Every day we do something to get voters' addresses. Ever since this has come to our attention, a lot of work has happened. We have progressively reduced the numbers of persons on the voters' roll without addresses. We now have a facility through the Constitutional Court ruling that will enable us to deal with this. Of course, it's very difficult. We live in a third world country. The court admitted that it is difficult in a way that there are many places in the country as well where there are just no conventional addresses, and we will have to deal with that situation as well. I think, given this situation that we now face, all of us are clear about what we need to do. We have the time that we've been given to do it. We will be reporting to the court in the periods that the court has indicated, and for us, I think these are adequate measures to enable us to achieve what we need to do.
All right, thank you for talking to us here on the program. The IEC's Mosotho Moepye talking to us about the Constitutional Court's decision yesterday, and we're going to take a break here on the program. Thank you very much. Thanks for talking to us. And after this, we're going to be talking about something I think that was exceptionally devastating.